Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Chiara, and in today's video I'm going to talk about my experience with secondary school and college. So for those of you who don't know, when I was 2 and 10 months I suffered a stroke resulting in right side hemiplegia, and I will link a full video about my disability here and down below. So I have a physical disability and I also have learning difficulties. So today I thought I would talk about my experience with going to secondary school and college with a physical disability and learning difficulties. So, if you don't know, in England, when I was at school, you could go to school from the age of year 7 till year 11, and then you could leave school and go and do sixth form, or go to college, or I think you could do an apprenticeship, and I think you could get a job. Now I think you have to stay in school until you're 18, but I'm not sure. So I did secondary school from year 7 till year 11, and then I left and did college for 3 years, and then I went to university. So today I'm going to talk about secondary school and college, because I felt like college didn't need a whole video as I was only there for 3 years, and my college was very, very good. So yeah. So if you like these kind of videos and you want to learn more about my disability and learn more about how I do one-handed tasks, and you might want to see more of me, please consider subscribing. The subscribe button will be below. So now, let's get into the video on secondary school and college. So, secondary school. So, I went to secondary school ages of 11 till 16, and then I went to college, because you could either go to, when I was younger, you could either go to college and or sixth form. So I went to college because I couldn't go to sixth form, because I didn't get the grades to get in, and I'll tell you about that. So I went to a mixed secondary school. So my secondary school it had boys and girls, and it had I went from like a primary school that had like 180 in the whole school to 180 per year. So my year had, I think we were one of the largest years they had, and ours was like 180. In the whole school, I think there was about 1,500 children in the school. And there was a mixture of children who were able-bodied, children who had physical disabilities, and children who had learning difficulties. So they took basically everyone. It was a state school, so they took anyone in the catchment area. I had help throughout secondary school, and to be honest, my helpers, they were great. I can't really fault the help I had at secondary school. So how they did my helpers at secondary school was so obviously in secondary school you change classes and you walk around and everything, and that was quite hard because like your books and your bag gets heavy and it's a lot of walking, and I can remember falling over quite a few times at secondary school. That was always quite embarrassing, like tripping or like falling over. I remember one time I fell over and it was chucking it down with rain, and it was like outside. It was really embarrassing. I think it was like year 8 or year 9. Because one of my friends in year 11 was still there, so I can't really remember how old I was. I remember doing that. So secondary school, you move around classes. So I had a different teaching assistant for different classes. So if we did PE, I would have one who liked doing PE, I guess. And if I did art, I would have one for art, and I had one for... So I had a different teaching assistant for different lessons. And each lesson my teaching assistants would read and write for me. So if my teacher would write something on a whiteboard, they would read it to me. They would also write, so I would dictate what I wanted them to write, and they would write it, what I was saying. Hi, so I'm just editing this video, and I just wanted to come on here and say they also, once they wrote my sentence, they would always read it back to me to make sure that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that because I didn't say it in my video, and I just wanted you guys to know. So yeah, let's get back to the video. So that's how my school went from the helping side. Secondary school, all in all, that bit was quite good. There were a few bits that I felt were like kind of unfair, but my helpers, they were very good and stuff. So let me have a look at my list, because I wrote a list on my phone because I forget these things. So let's see what we've got. Go to notes, Chiara. Okay, so throughout my school, like, obviously I had help and stuff. I missed quite a lot of school because I had hospital appointments, and it was around the time they started Botox injections for me in my arm to help the muscle, because my arm used to be up here and then they moved it down. Anyway, that's another video. So I started doing Botox injections and I started going to hospital a lot more, so I missed quite a lot of school, which was quite hard because so you miss school, then you have to like catch up. That was alright, but I did find that kind of hard because it was like I always missed like the classes I like art or like textiles. I never missed like English or like music. I would always miss the classes like I really enjoyed, which really did annoy me. That's just how my hospital appointments felt. It's not like I chose them, it's just they felt like that. So that was always kind of frustrating that I would miss all the classes I liked. And then this was like a common theme throughout my school career. I wasn't allowed to walk up the stairs or down the stairs without a teacher. And it was so frustrating in secondary school. Like, in primary school, I got it. Like, in primary school, I didn't get it because I went to a primary school which was tiny, as I mentioned in my primary school video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I went to a primary school that was tiny. So I didn't really understand why I needed... In secondary school, I understood there was 1,500 children in my school, and our school was rammed. It was so packed. Like, you couldn't get in... Like, I didn't have school lunches because you couldn't get in our dining hall. It was so busy in our dining hall. And also, I couldn't carry a tray, so... And also, they weren't the nicest, our school dinners. So, I didn't have school dinners anyway. So, I kind of understand why I wasn't allowed to. But it did make me feel like I was a child in secondary school because I would be standing at the stairs or the lift waiting for my teaching assistants to come and take me up the stairs. And there would be people from my classes being like, "Are you coming to class?" And I would say like, "I can't, I have to wait for my teaching assistant to help me up the stairs to walk behind me." And they would be like, "Oh, okay." And they would just go up the stairs and I would be like stood there. And there would be like times when I would be like so late for class because they didn't, their other class overrun, and I would just be sat on a bench or like standing in the block waiting for them to take me up. And I remember one time I was late for a class and the teacher, I walked in with my teaching assistant and another pupil who needed help walking up the stairs because we had other children with disabilities. I wasn't the only child with disabilities in my secondary school, which was good because it was like kind of easier with like physical disability. So this other people needed help going upstairs. So we went in the lift because they had lifts in certain buildings of my school. They didn't have them in all the buildings, but they had them in certain buildings. And I walked in and we must have been like 15-20 minutes late for this lesson. And the teacher called me out. In fact, everyone, I went, "Why are you late?" And I went because I couldn't walk up the stairs because I needed my teaching assistant to help me. And I was just like, you should know that. Like, my teacher should have known that. She should have been told that. Like, and that for me was really embarrassing because like she shouldn't have done that. But this teacher was a very strict teacher anyway. So that was really quite embarrassing for me. So other than that, like my teaching assistants, they were great. Other than that, sometimes they were late because their class overran. And there was another time when, again, me and this other pupil, this was the same people, me and this pupil were sat on this bench for like half an hour because nobody came to get us to take us up the stairs. I think maybe our teaching assistant wasn't in and nobody told us. And we were just, it was first period and we were just sat on this bench outside for like a good 40 minutes, and these classes were like an hour, and we were like, what do we do? Like, everyone had gone in, we were just like, do we go get someone? Because like, we didn't want to go get someone, and then they come, and they're like, oh, they're not in. So it was like a really hard thing to like go to like, we had like a learning support area where we had, if you did like one-to-one, or if you did like, they had like a building where basically all the teaching assistants would go and stuff, and we were like, do we go there and tell them that nobody's come? So it's like, well, if she comes, does one of us go? Does one of us wait? It was like really quite hard to do, to understand. So that was really frustrating for me, because it was like, I felt like a child being stood at the stairs, and especially like in my older years, in like year 9 and year 10 and year 11, because it's like I got bigger and I just kind of felt a bit like a child being stood at the bottom of these stairs and never being allowed upstairs. Like in break time and lunchtime, I wasn't allowed up the stairs unless a teacher helped me. So that was really frustrating. But then I got to year 11 and they changed the rules. So I got my last year of school, and my tutor room, so throughout my school, so from year 7 till year 10, my tutor room was downstairs in, I think it was in the science block. It was downstairs, so that was fine. So we'd go to tutor, and if you don't know what tutor is, it's when you register to say you're here. I haven't left school. And it was like 10 minutes, and then my tutor left because they just left. And they moved us to another tutor, to another teacher, and ours was upstairs. So they decided that I could ride in the lift with a friend, and they gave us like these little, I don't know if I still have them, I might still have them actually. They gave us these little cards saying you can ride in the lift, you have permission from your head of year with this person. And then we were allowed to ride in the lift. So that was a bit weird that all of a sudden they gave us permission. I guess they thought we were mature enough or something. I don't know, but I was only allowed to ride in the lift with this one friend. So yeah, I guess that kind of like got better, but it was still like in like definitely like year 10, it was like I'm a child. But it was only for tutor group I was allowed to ride in the lift, so I wasn't allowed to ride in lifts for any other classes. It was only to go to tutor twice a day with my friends. So that was it. Also, I just wanted to come on here again and say, like, I understand why they had those rules in place, because it was safety, and I spoke to my mum about it actually as well. It was suggested by my physiotherapist and my occupational therapist that I should not be allowed to go up the lift, go up the stairs by myself. But it still was really frustrating, and I understand in a school where there's 1,500 students and it's packed. Like, I completely understand. And now, obviously, I kind of completely understand about primary school. If you've watched that video where I do say I felt like it was unfair, I do understand as well. But again, it was still very frustrating. And also, I just wanted to say as well, I can't really remember what else I want to say. Anyway, so yeah, now let's get back to the video, because I can't remember what I wanted to say. Okay, bye. So when I did my GCSEs, I used to get extra time, and I used to do it in a separate room, because again, my teaching assistants would read and write the questions for me. So when you do exams in school, if you have extra time or a learning difficulty, they will take you into a different room. So normally you do them in like a hall, which I never did. I did it in like a different room. So they take you in a different room and you'll do your exam with your teaching assistant or another teacher, but it can't be the same teacher, or it can't be the same teaching assistant as you had in that class. So like, if I did, let's say when I did my science exam, did I do a science exam? Because I think I didn't do one because I did. Okay, let's say maths. You can't have the same helper you had for maths because they think they might cheat. So they would read me the questions and I would be like, this is the answer, and that's how I did my exams. That's how I did all my exams. And so yeah, that was how I did my exams. Then let's see what else there was, because I'm pretty sure there was more than this. This was another thing that I felt wasn't fair about my school. So in year 9, you choose your subject. So if you don't know, in year 9 you start choosing what subjects you want to do for GCSE. So I did art, textiles. For textiles as well, my helpers would also, if I did sewing or like cutting, they would sew it for me and cut things for me, as well as throughout school. So if we did woodwork or science, any two-handed tasks they would help me with, or just maybe do it for me. I would tell them where to sew and they would sew it, or like I would tell them how much to pour in and they would pour, or we would like do it together. So as well as that, I had help with my any two-handed tasks at school as well. I just wanted to mention that as well because you're probably thinking, how did she do textiles? That's how I did it. So yeah, get back to the video. Business studies, and then I had one-to-one, which was so my helper would, I wouldn't say my designated helper, my main helper would help me do my homework, and we would do other bits. We would catch up on lessons because if I had missed a lesson from being in the hospital. Okay, also there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and I cannot get my head in this frame. Okay, we're just gonna live with this. Sorry, you got my water bottle. Okay, so I also did one-to-one at school, and if you don't know what one-to-one is, I'm going to explain to you what it is, because I do mention it a lot in this video, and I think I talk about it at the end, but anyway, so one-to-one is basically where you have a helper, and they help you with your homework. So basically, because I missed quite a lot of school because I went to the hospital and had Botox injections, they would help me catch up on homework, and if I had missed any lessons that were crucial, like science, or like when I was doing my GCSEs, if I missed any of those lessons, they would help me catch up with those. So that's what I did. So I would have one-to-one with my helper, and I had one-to-one from year 7 till year 11, and in year 7 they took me out of French because they felt like I didn't need to do French at school. We did languages, and they felt like French wasn't really an option for me, so I can't read English, so how can she learn to read French? So they didn't want me to do that. I think my parents felt as well, not just my school, but they all felt that it wasn't really right, so instead I had one-to-one. And then in year 8 I didn't do music because, again, they felt like because I couldn't read. Yeah, so that was it. I just wanted to mention that as well. I'm sorry I keep doing this like this, but there's loads of things that I forgot to tell you in this video, and I don't want to refilm it. So yeah, we're just going like this. So yeah, let's get back to this video. I did that, but for English and maths, and for science I did applied science. So applied science is when you apply it to something. So I did that, and I really enjoyed applied science, so I really liked that. But for English and maths, we were set in so English I was put in the bottom set. We were set in the same sets for English and maths. And because I was in the bottom set for English, I was automatically put in the bottom set for maths, which I personally think wasn't fair, because I'm actually, as I found out when I went to college, which I'll do a little bit on college at the end of this video, I'm actually quite good at maths. And had I maybe been put in a slightly higher set for maths, I would have been better, because my maths class, they just didn't really want to learn in my maths class, so I found that really hard. So yeah, that's really the only thing that I found so frustrating about my school and I understand why they did it. Maybe because it was something to do with like budgets and not having enough helpers and all that, but I don't know, I find that really frustrating that they had to put me in a lower set for maths, because you were set for maths and English. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's a good way to test a child's ability. So obviously did all my GCSEs, left school, and actually I had quite a lot of friends at school as well. Like, I would say I had a few friends at school and quite a lot. So yeah. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about college for you, and like what I did at college. So I went to college from the age of 16 till I think I was 19. I can't really remember. Yeah, I think I must have been 19, because when did I pass my driving test? I think I was 19. So, and I did what did I do at college? I did arts and design. I did textiles at uni. So I went to a completely different college, because I couldn't get into sixth form because I didn't get the grades required for sixth form. I would have liked to have gone to sixth form at my school, but I couldn't get the grades, so unfortunately I wasn't able to go there. So for college, I went to a college in my town. I did art and design, and overall my college, they were, again, the helpers were really good. I had one helper they were all actually amazing. And the staff were really good at college, because at school, if I compare it to school, the teachers, not that they weren't good, they just, obviously they have a lot of students at school. And school is very different to college. And I think maybe the teachers may have got told about my disabilities, about my difficulty with reading, that they may not have known, and with the whole of me not being allowed to walk up and down stairs. Again, so all in all, my TAs, they were very good at secondary school, but the teachers, I think some of them were really good. And it's like with any school, you get some good teachers and you get some bad teachers. So now college. So college, all in all, they were all very good. And I did text. I didn't do textiles. I did that at university. I did art and design, and I did level 2 and level 3 art and design. And I went in on level 2 because I didn't get a C in English, and a C in English was required to do a level 3. And then you go on and do university. So I did level 2 and level 3 at college. And I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I did art and design. I really enjoyed it. And you do an end of year show, and that was really fun. And my helper, so I had a head helper who was in charge of looking. My arm is so annoying me today. I'm sorry, I can't seem to get comfy. I had a head helper who was in charge, and they said, why don't we try and do maths? So in level 3 they had to do English, and obviously they felt English wasn't right for me. The level they were doing English wasn't right for me, so they were like, why don't we what did you get in your maths GCSE? And I was like, oh, I got I think for maths I got a G, or was it a D? I don't know, I did quite badly in my maths GCSE. And they were like, okay. I was like, oh, I'm bad at maths, I won't do it. And they were like, what did you get in science? And I was like, I got 2 Bs. And they were like, how can you get 2 Bs and not be very good at maths? So they were like, let's try and do some maths. So they made me do some maths. I think I started with year 7 maths. I'm not sure, but they said had they have started me in level 2, so the first year I came to college, because I spent 3 years at college. So 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I think I just turned 19 when I left. Because I'm born in May, I would have just turned 19. Because I spent 3 years, they said, had we have started you in first year, well, it wouldn't have been first year, had we have started you in level 2, you probably could have done your maths GCSE, because I found out I was actually very good at maths. So that, for me, was really frustrating, because at school, maybe had I been in a different maths set, I would have been good at maths. So yeah, that was really good. So all in all, my college and university, we haven't done university. University is next. My secondary school and college experience was all in all quite good. And like I said, my helpers, they were very helpful. They meant to be helpful. Oh, and also they would help me with some practical sides and reading and writing, but I forgot to mention that. So yeah, that was at secondary school, and throughout college they would help me through practical things as well. Anything that I couldn't do because it may have been a two-handed job, they helped me with. So they were all very good. It was just the aspects of the going up and down stairs I found very frustrating and stuff. But then when I got to college, they were like, that's a ridiculous role. We'll let you walk up and down the stairs. And I was like, yes! I was so happy when they told me I could walk up and down the stairs. Happy with that. So yeah, all in all, a good experience at school, other than the stairs, and maybe I could have done maths. Then college again, that was kind of quite a good experience too. Hi, sorry, I'm doing this again. Okay, this is the last time I'm going to do this in this video because we're very nearly at the end. So I just wanted to mention one more thing before you leave this video. So all in all, my school was very good. No child really said anything about my disability until I got to year 11. So one day in year 11, I'm just pushing my camera back. I was walking through the halls of my school, and it was the start of a new term. So I had just gone into year 11, and it must have been maybe September, October time. And I was by myself walking through the school, and I walked past this person, and this person must have been in year 7 because I had never seen them before. And you got to like know faces even if you didn't know names. And this person went to their friend, "There's the freak girl," in front of me. Yeah. So I obviously was like so shocked because no one had ever said anything nasty to me about my disability ever. And I was horrified. So I just went really about my day, and I didn't really know what to say, so I just carried on walking and went about my day. And then a few weeks, I don't know if it was a few weeks later or maybe a few days later, I saw this person again. And they said to me again, "There's a freak girl." And my friend happened to be with me, and they said, "Did you say anything?" And I said, "No, I didn't say anything." Now looking back, I wish I had gone to this person and said, "What's your name? What tutor group are you in?" If you don't know what tutor groups are, we had like groups of where you would go and register. "What tutor group are you in and what's your name?" And I wish I had gone to like a senior member of staff and said, "This person is saying that I'm a freak," or like calling me a freak, or like calling me weird. I can't actually remember what this person said, but it was along those lines. And I wish I had gone to a senior member of staff and said that, because that is not acceptable to say to anyone. If anyone is saying that to you, get the courage to go to a teacher and be like, "This is what somebody's saying to me. It's not acceptable. It's not okay to say that to someone." So I wish I had got up the courage and gone to a teacher and said, "I don't know this person's name. I don't know anything about them, but they are saying this about me." This person didn't know anything about me either. So I just wanted to come on here and tell you that, because I just wanted you guys to know that. And I went to a school where there was quite a lot of disabled children, and there were a lot of able-bodied children too. It was a mixture, like I say in the beginning. But I just thought that was so appalling that someone would say that to me at school and think they could get away with it. Obviously, this person did get away with it because I didn't do anything. Now looking back, I wish I had that courage to say, like, this isn't okay, to say to one of my teachers, like, this is what happened, because it was so unacceptable. So I just want, like, if there's anyone, whoever says that to you and you're at school, go to a teacher, even if you don't know this person's name, and just say, "Look, someone said this to me. I'm sorry, I don't know their name. They don't know my name, but they're saying this to me as I walk past them, just casually." Because that's not acceptable ever. So yeah, other than that experience, the children in my school were pretty good. I just really wanted to come on here and say that, because I can't stress enough to you how horrible that is to say that to someone. So yeah, now let's get back to the video. So all in all, that's really all I can say about school and college. I'm sorry if this video was kind of like all over the place again, because it's kind of like I suddenly have a memory of like, oh, this happened. So I'm sorry if this video was all over the place, but if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching my video on secondary school and college. If you did enjoy, please like and comment. And if you want to learn more about my disability and learn more about how I do one-handed tasks, and you might want to see more of me, please consider subscribing. The subscribe button will be below. Okay, bye.